It's frustrating to know and to have experience, and I say this from experience. Someone who just refuses to acknowledge that there may possibly be a different way of looking at an issue. And we're talking about everything that's going on right now, immigration and all of that. And they are just staunch in the way that they think and just know that is their belief. They just know that that is the only way at looking at this issue. But when you dig deeper into that person, you may see some things that they're so far removed from it. They're not really part of the population that is affected by it. The things that they consume are only those things they agree upon. So they are literally putting themselves into this echo chamber of sorts. Their news is just from a very particular source, their friends as well. Everything and everyone they surround themselves with just backs up this belief system. Therefore, there is nothing diverse about their lives. And mind, when I say the word diverse, I know people get really triggered by it. Remember, diverse has a whole meaning other than diverse when it comes to race, diverse when it comes to gender, sexuality, places of origin, way of thinking. Do you surround yourself by divergent thinkers? Thinkers that look at things or approach things from outside the box. Because if you just surround yourself by people that think like you and believe like you, then you're not really seeing and understanding that particular issue from other points of view. You're just really understanding it from your point of view. And we have to understand that our points of view can be really short because we can only know what we've experienced, what we have learned. And we got to understand that as we approach other people's in lives, theirs is going to be different experience, different things that they have learned. So that's why it's so important to enrich ourselves with diversity all around in the full sense of the world, because it enriches our lives. It enriches what we know and how we perceive some things, because now we're not just perceiving it based off of our own short-sighted experience. We're seeing it through a more widened lens. So when I come across these people, it's almost like hitting a wall, right? And I've come to understand, because I have experienced these people quite a lot, is that they're so afraid of being wrong. And you will be surprised how pervasive the fear is. It's almost as if their entire childhood, they have trauma of being belittled or beaten up for being wrong, for making mistakes. And that has been carried on all the way into adulthood, snowballed really all the way into adulthood, to where we have now an adult so scared of being wrong that they hold on to their beliefs even when they start smelling a little rotten, even when they start smelling a little wrong. Because there's no way that with everything going on right now, the way that social media is and the way that these commenters or trolls show up in my comments, in other people's comments, showing you, look, this is what is really going on the ground. And still with their whole chest loud and wrong, they go in there and they say, you are wrong. And then they spew, it's like an echo chamber, because como una cotorra, a parrot, word for word, the same rhetoric, the same stereotypes. No, we're being invaded, all these words. And I talk about this on my podcast because it starts with the language. And that's why I say this is going to be an uphill battle, but it's not an impossible battle, but it's just going to be an uphill battle because official channels keep utilizing those words. Invasion. We must liberate, but liberate from whom? From immigrants? Really? From protesters? Really? protesters are fighting for freedom for all. You know what I'm saying? So they're turning the word around and they're banking on people being so staunch in their beliefs that they will not seek out something outside of their circle. They're banking on these individuals just being stuck in that mind frame, just being stuck in their teeny tiny world and not coming outside of it because they know that it hurts to know that one is wrong. They know that it hurts the ego, and the ego, it's a very strong enemy. To go against one's ego is the hardest thing that one can do because you have to subjugate your ego and say, you know what? I see you, ego, but I don't care. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to subjugate you because it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to learn otherwise. It's okay to listen to somebody else's perspective and to find out that perhaps how you believe things were wrong. How you believe things should be were wrong. How you perceive other people that did not look like you was wrong. And that's what it takes, that internal battle with our ego to really understand somebody else's point of view because you have to subjugate yourself first. You have to humble yourself. And it's very few people that can do that. You have to be really strong internally to be able to do that. And what we're starting to see right now is that a lot of people have not done that work. They're not internally strong. They're not resilient enough. Only people that are resilient, and you see them, they bounce back, they achieve great things. But you know why they were able to do that? Because they were able to subjugate their ego to achieve these great feats. Because in the way to achieving great feats, how many failures you think you're gonna have? How many? A lot, an immeasurable amount of failure. And you have to accept it. And then you have to look at those failures and dissect them so that way you can do better. So that's what I'm saying. Only the internally strong can achieve great things. And what we're starting to see here is a lot of weak minded people that are unable to look outside of themselves because they're so afraid of being wrong. And that fear is holding them still. And people that are trying to influence them are banking on that because they know that fear is a big motivator. And that's why you hear in the news from official channels, you hear those words that just stoke fear, that stoke big emotions, and that pushes people to stop thinking rationally. And now they're immediately in that fight or flight, and they must fight. And they're fighting against what? The enemy that they're saying, right? And they don't care what they see from somebody else. They're like, no, this is what I hear. This is what I believe. Because when I heard that, I felt these big emotions go through me. Therefore, this is right. But what they don't understand, that what they felt was that fear of others being stoked by people who they look up to. So that's the perfect storm right there. So because of that, they will hold on to that. And it has to come like a reckoning of sorts for these people. Some will unleash that inner strength that they have. Some will do that. I truly believe that some will find that inner strength to say, you know what? How I was viewing this, what I was thinking, that was not completely right. And you're going to see some turn around and understand it and do soul searching to do that. But you will see other people hold on all the way to the very end on their beliefs. And then you will see some go down holding on to those beliefs because to some people, being right is the goal, whether they're right or not.